It was a cold March night in 1999 when the skies above Yugoslavia carried more than silence. A shadow cut through the air, invisible to radar, invisible to the eye, a machine so feared it was known as the ghost of the night. The F-117 Nighthawk, America's most secretive stealth aircraft, was on a mission that should have been routine. Yet within hours, the impossible happened. A weapon system designed decades earlier, thought outdated and powerless against modern stealth, locked onto the Nighthawk. A missile raced upward, split the night apart, and the unthinkable became reality, the first and only time a stealth aircraft was ever shot down in combat. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the World Conflict Monitor channel. Please subscribe to my channel as we uncover the remarkable story of how the Nighthawk was shot down, and what this event revealed about technology, strategy, and human persistence. Before diving deeper, let's summarize the story. The F-117 Nighthawk was developed in absolute secrecy during the late Cold War, becoming the first operational stealth aircraft in history. Its role was not to dogfight or race across the skies, but to sneak into the heart of heavily defended enemy territory, strike high-value targets with precision, and leave without being seen. During the NATO bombing campaign against Yugoslavia, the aircraft seemed untouchable. But on the night of March 27, 1999, Yugoslav forces led by Colonel Zoltan Dani used clever tactics, patience, and modified radar techniques to achieve what no one believed possible. They shot down a jet designed to be invisible. The incident shocked the Pentagon, stunned the world, and shattered the myth that stealth meant invulnerability. The exterior of the F-117 was unlike any other plane. While most aircraft rely on aerodynamic curves for efficiency and speed, the Nighthawk was built from a collection of sharp edges and angular surfaces. This unusual diamond-like shape was intentional. Every surface was calculated to deflect radar waves away from their source rather than bounce them back. Covered in radar-absorbent material and painted in matte black, the aircraft seemed to swallow light itself. Its wings were trapezoidal, its tail slanted outward, and its fuselage looked more like a futuristic spacecraft than a conventional fighter jet. Even the way its air intakes and exhausts were designed spoke to one purpose: deny the enemy's sensors any chance to detect its presence. From the ground, when spotted by the naked eye at twilight, it resembled a flying shard of glass, a ghostly figure crossing the horizon. This radical exterior design was the very essence of stealth, and it turned the aircraft into a legend before it ever entered combat. The interior told a different story. Unlike its futuristic outside, the cockpit was surprisingly simple and even cramped. Pilots described it as functional but not luxurious. The angular canopy limited outward visibility, making it feel like flying inside a box with a narrow view of the world. The controls, avionics, and navigation systems glowed in green, giving the pilot the tools needed to navigate in darkness and deliver weapons with precision. But there was no excess comfort. The aircraft was not designed for long, relaxed flights. It was built to enter enemy territory, complete its mission, and leave quickly. Sitting inside was like wearing a suit of armor. Protective, purposeful, but restrictive. When it came to performance, the F-117 was both brilliant and flawed. Unlike modern fighters, it was not fast, with a top speed just above 600 miles per hour. It was also not agile, its aerodynamics compromised by the angular design that gave it stealth. Dogfighting was never in its nature. Instead, the Nighthawk's performance was measured by its ability to evade detection and deliver pinpoint strikes. Equipped with cutting-edge avionics for the time, it carried laser-guided bombs that could strike within feet of their targets. Its twin engines were hidden deep inside the fuselage, with flat exhaust nozzles to reduce infrared signatures, making it harder for heat-seeking missiles to find. But every strength came with a trade-off: slower acceleration, limited maneuverability, and dependence on planning and secrecy rather than raw power. Its mission profile relied on darkness, precision, and the element of surprise. The downing of the Nighthawk revealed much about safety features. Though stealth was its shield, the aircraft was not armored heavily. It relied on invisibility as its first and only line of defense. When struck by the missile, its structure was not designed to absorb heavy damage. Yet the pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Dale Zelko, survived, thanks in part to the ejection system. As the missile tore into the jet, he ejected into the dark countryside and endured hours on the ground before being rescued by NATO search and rescue teams. This demonstrated the limitations of relying on stealth alone. Once compromised, the aircraft's safety systems had little redundancy against direct strikes. The true safety feature was meant to be invisibility, but on that night, invisibility failed. The unique selling points of the Nighthawk were revolutionary. It was the world's first operational stealth aircraft, a proof of concept that changed military aviation forever. Its radical exterior design influenced decades of stealth technology, leading to aircraft like the B-2 Spirit and the F-22 Raptor. Its ability to penetrate dense air defenses and strike high-value targets was unmatched in its prime. The psychological effect was also enormous. Adversaries knew there was a weapon in the sky they could not see, and that fear often shaped decisions before the bombs even fell. The Nighthawk became a symbol of American technological superiority, a weapon of both war and psychological warfare. Its operational history included successes in Panama, the Gulf War, and Kosovo, where it destroyed vital infrastructure with precision. For years, it seemed untouchable. The price of such a machine was steep. Each F-117 cost roughly $42 million in the 1980s, equivalent to well over $100 million today. Beyond the unit cost, its maintenance was expensive and time-consuming. The radar-absorbent materials required constant care, and the aircraft demanded specialized facilities. Yet for the Pentagon, the cost was justified. This was not just a plane, it was a strategic advantage, a tool that allowed America to strike without fear of retaliation. For Yugoslavia to bring one down using an older Soviet SA-3 missile system costing a fraction of the jet's price was an irony not lost on the world. It highlighted the asymmetry of warfare. A billion-dollar program could be threatened by ingenuity and adaptation. The conclusion of this story is layered. On one hand, the downing of the F-117 was a moment of triumph for Yugoslav forces and a symbolic victory for all nations that faced overwhelming technological odds. It proved that stealth was not invincibility, that patterns and predictability could be exploited, and that human determination could close the gap between eras of technology. On the other hand, the Nighthawk remained a legend. Despite the loss of one jet, the fleet continued to serve successfully, and its legacy influenced every stealth aircraft that followed. The event did not end stealth warfare, but it reminded the world that no system is perfect, no design is immune, and every innovation eventually meets its counter. The Nighthawk's story, from its faceted black exterior to its cramped cockpit, from its stealthy triumphs to its fiery fall in Yugoslavia, captures both the brilliance and the vulnerability of human engineering. It is a story of power, secrecy, cost, and consequence. And above all, it is a story that teaches us that in warfare, as in life, there is no such thing as untouchable.